One of the things I was thinking about is something that the Prophet ﷺ was talking about. There was a certain hadith that I was reading this week, and in there, what was very interesting was the Prophet ﷺ's style of speech, right? Where there was someone who was asking the Prophet ﷺ about Hajj, right? And so he was asking about Hajj, and he would ask a question, and Prophet ﷺ would be like giving very, very short answers, right? But yet the answers had so much weight and so much meaning in them, right? So for example, someone said like, what is the best Hajj? And the Prophet ﷺ said, a noisy and bloody one. Okay. Now when you first hear that, that's like, what? Hajj, noisy, bloody, like what's going on here, right? But obviously the people of the time, they understood it. Like by noisy, it's about like your supplication to Allah is loud, right? And by bloody, it was the fact that, lots of animals get slaughtered for the time of Hajj when you do the slaughtering, right? And so I was just thinking the Prophet ﷺ, when he communicated in so little time and so few words, he's able to get across so much meaning and the objective is met, right? And I think that there's great lessons, obviously, in the Prophet ﷺ, in his style of communication. And I think that, he gave us advice specifically in how to communicate. And I feel like a lot of people are good at this kind of stuff. So for example, if I don't feel so confident speaking up at work, I'm very good at staying quiet at work. And that's good. Why? Because Prophet ﷺ said that and I'm paraphrasing here, is that if someone doesn't have anything good to say, then they should remain silent, right? And so remaining silent is something that's quite easy in difficult situations. So for example, if I have to speak to a crowd of people and I don't want to speak, it's quite easy to stay quiet. If I don't want to speak in a meeting, I'll just stay quiet. But being in real relationships and real discussions and keeping quiet, this is a tough thing. And I think that alongside that whole self-awareness thing, one of the main things we want to do is we want to get into this habit of remaining quiet, okay? And this is one of the reasons why I think like balance and sabr and meditating and all this stuff is good. Why? Because it gets us into this habit of being quiet. And I feel that a lot of the times what happens is, especially when we're in conversations, sometimes you're in conversations with someone and you just have this thing where they're talking, but you are ready to talk. So they haven't even finished speaking yet and you are ready to go. And then you go, right? And it's just this kind of a phase of expression which just kind of gets out there. And I think that with a lot of the relationships that we have, we need to get to this mode where we start to become calmer. We start to become quieter. And that calmness, that quietness, that observation, it will bring about a different reaction and a different conversation to one if we weren't quiet, if we were ready to go to speak, and if we weren't calm and all of this stuff, right? And so what I'm saying is that as part of our growing in self-awareness, we need to grow in quietness and calmness as well, right? So that when we are facing things like crucial conversations, when we're facing other things, we are in that position where we are actually calm and we are observing and we are slow, right? And I think this kind of approach is very, very needed in certain situations. So I find myself, even in like relationships that I have, because you know people so well, your brain assigns a lot of baggage with each person you know, right? So when you think about your mum and you think, okay, my mum is great because of X, Y, Z, then you think about my mum, she always does this or always says this to me, or my dad always says this to me. And like there's so much baggage that we hold. And so when we're communicating with people, we need to like get to this position where we ourselves are calm, we're patient, we're quiet, and we're there listening to them from a place of nothing. What do I mean by a place of nothing? What I mean is that all the noise in my head that comes with me and my perception of my brother, that stuff needs to fall away, and I need to be very calm and quiet and be there in that conversation listening to that person. And then beyond that, even in the way that I communicate with that person about what they've told me. It's like I remember there was a time when my brother, he messaged me and he said something like, I'm going to go and do this, right? And so I messaged him and I said to him, look, bro, that's not going to work. Okay, don't do that. I I was on my phone, right? And I was sending him a voice note and I was going, you know, what you're saying, it's not going to work. Don't do it, right? And then I kind of stopped there for a second and I thought, mind your language, bro. Like, this is what I said to talk to myself, right? Like, I canceled the voice note and I said to myself, mind your language, because you, like, he's come to you saying he wants to do something. You don't hold the keys to the unseen. Like, you don't know what's going to happen. And you are basically projecting your negative language and your negative perception of what you believe the future to hold onto him. So should I be the type of person that just tells him, no, you can't do it, like you would tell a child, and just be like, no, you can't do it, and that's it? He's a grown adult, you know, he's someone who commands respect and someone who I respect. So why would I speak to him like that? Maybe I need to modify what I'm saying, right? So then I kind of like changed it. And I said to him, I recorded a new voice note and I said, look, what you're saying, I understand why you're saying it. And you know what? It could work, and inshallah it works out. Some things to look out for though in this situation are, you know, maybe this, maybe this, maybe this. But inshallah, you know, if you go for it and you put your mind to it, inshallah it'll work out and you'll do it, right? And I was thinking, that's such a different conversation to the one that I had planned. And where did that come from? The better conversation, I mean, it came from self-reflection. It came from self-awareness, and it came from catching myself in the way that I was communicating. And this is one of the reasons I'm saying to you that for you to be quiet, and especially with people that you care about and you're close to and you're comfortable and confident speaking to you, because if you can be quiet, you will start to observe your own communication more.